The Galactic Defense Academy had trained warriors from over 300 species across the known galaxy. Its instructors had seen everything, or so they thought. The crystalline Zephyrians with their perfect tactical minds, the hulking Thraxians with strength that could crush starship hulls, the ethereal veil dancers who could phase through solid matter. Each species brought their evolutionary advantages, their natural gifts honed over millennia. Then came the humans. Instructor Keth 9 adjusted his optical sensors as he reviewed the morning's roster. Another batch of applicants, another group destined to wash out in the first week. The Academy's standards were absolute. Only the elite of the elite earned the right to defend the galaxy's outer rim colonies from the Void Swarm. Most species came with genetic advantages. Humans came with nothing but determination, and an alarming tendency to ignore basic self-preservation instincts. Subject designation: Sarah Chen Okafor, Terra Colony 7, Keth 9 announced to his fellow instructors. Age 24 standard cycles. Previous military experience 0. Genetic modifications none. Enhanced implants none. Instructor Vash, a towering Centaurian with 4 arms and skin like living metal, clicked his mandibles in amusement. Another baseline human. Why do they keep sending us these primitives? The question answered itself when Sarah stepped into the training arena. She moved with economy, no wasted motion, her dark eyes scanning every exit, every possible threat. While other candidates strutted or preened, she simply waited. Combat assessment begins, Keth 9 announced. Scenario: Void Swarm breach. Defend the civilian evacuation point. The holographic environment materialized, a space station corridor with flickering lights and sparking conduits. At the far end, terrified civilian holograms huddled near an escape pod. Between them and Sarah, 3 void spawn materialized. Nightmare creatures of living shadow and crystalline spines that had devoured entire systems. Most candidates would charge forward, relying on their species' natural advantages. The Thraxian had punched through them with brute force. The Zephyrian had calculated the optimal attack vectors and struck with mathematical precision. Sarah did neither. She killed the lights. In the sudden darkness, the void spawn hesitated. Their echolocation worked best with ambient light to guide their shadow manipulation. Sarah had spent her childhood in the mining tunnels of Terra 7, where a failed glow stick meant death in absolute darkness. She moved through the black like it was daylight. The first void spawn died to a knife thrust through what would have been its brainstem, if it had possessed conventional anatomy. Sarah had memorized the Academy's xenobiology texts not to pass tests, but because knowing how to kill something might save her life someday. The second creature lashed out with shadow tendrils seeking heat signatures. Sarah had anticipated this. She'd wrapped herself in the reflective emergency blanket from her kit, redistributing her thermal signature. The creature struck empty air while she drove her blade between its primary neural clusters. The third void spawn adapted, flooding the corridor with bioluminescent spores that would reveal any hidden targets. Sarah was already moving, not away from the light, but into it. She ripped a plasma coupling from the damaged wall and hurled it into the creature's mouth as it prepared to screech, a sound that could liquefy most species' inner ears. The explosion took out half the corridor, and the void spawn. In the observation booth, the instructor sat in stunned silence. She fought like she expected to die, whispered Keth 9. The pattern continued through every scenario. Where other candidates demonstrated their strengths, Sarah revealed her understanding of death. She didn't fight to win. She fought like her life depended on it because, in her experience, it always had. During the zero-gravity combat test, while others struggled with the disorientation, Sarah moved like she'd been born in vacuum. Terra 7's mining operations had required constant EVA work. She'd been doing maintenance walks on the outside of orbital platforms since she was 12. In the psychological warfare scenario, while telepathic species crumbled under mental assault, Sarah endured. Her instructors didn't know about the night terrors from losing her family in a tunnel collapse, or the medication she'd weaned herself off of because pilots couldn't afford chemical dependencies. They only saw a human who weathered mental attacks that broke stronger minds. The survival exercise broke the largest number of candidates. Dropped on a hostile world with minimal supplies, most species lasted days before activating their emergency beacons. Sarah lasted 3 weeks. She came back with detailed maps of edible plants, water sources, and predator migration patterns. How? Instructor Vash demanded during her debrief. Your species has no natural camouflage, no enhanced senses, no environmental adaptations. Sarah looked at him with those steady, dark eyes. I grew up on a world where the terraforming failed. We ate whatever didn't kill us first. We slept light because the automated systems failed regularly, and you might wake up without air. Every day was a survival exercise. But why join the academy? Keth 9 asked. Your colony is peaceful now. The Confederacy provides security. Because the Void Swarm is coming, Sarah said simply. I've read the intelligence reports. The Outer Rim colonies are going to burn. My little sister lives on Terra 12 now. She has kids. She stood, her uniform pristine despite 3 weeks in hostile wilderness. You asked how I survived out there. Wrong question. You should ask why I needed to learn how to survive in the first place. As she left the debriefing room, the instructors finally understood. Other species had evolved their gifts. Humans had evolved the need to survive everything the universe could throw at them, and sometimes that was exactly what the galaxy needed. 2 months later, when the Void Swarm reached the Outer Rim, the Academy's top graduate was already there. Sarah Chen Okafor didn't fight like a hero from the stories. She fought like a human, with desperate creativity, absolute ruthlessness, and the bone-deep understanding that survival was never guaranteed. She fought like her sister's children depended on it. Because they did.